Yeah, do you like cooked carrots?
As opposed to raw carrots, I could handle.
No, because they're mushy, and mushiness is gross.
Yeah, but the thing is, they don't get mushy unless they're in a stew.
That's the only place I've seen them cooked.
You can boil carrots, you can cook carrots,
and you can fry.
Somebody said fried cat.
Why would you eat a fried carrot? Do you batter it?
Why?
Tempura? I mean, you're gonna mess it up if you fight with it. I mean, no.
Why you fry? Well, how could you fry? What? Now I've heard of fried bananas.
Do you batter the? Okay, I'm confused because when you take a carrot and you're gonna stick it in the grease, just bareback.
No, what you do is you started the pan up, right? You don't have to put the grease in. Put some butter in it, maybe.
How you fry it without grease?
You put some butter in it.
Or pot, or use Pam.
Yeah.
I remember.
And
yeah.
And you go just past crisp, and they're not mushy.
How do you know that how do you know when crisp is?
Well, crisp is when they're raw.
Okay, but then
just eat it raw. It's crispy enough.
No, but they're not warm then.
What about like in peas and carrots?
Ew.
Oh, that's nasty.
Peas, gross.
Peas and carrots, they're not a thing. I mean, you got little tiny square carrots.
Right.
They have no taste in the peas.
So the peas taste overwhelms the carrot taste.
Yeah, and the texture. I mean, it's crazy.
Because it's mushy, because they're cooked.
No, it's mushy and stew like it's supposed to be.
No, that frozen bag of peas and carrots and mixed vegetables, and you boil them up, and they get all squishy, mushy.
You don't boil them up past that point. You just boil them a little bit. Make sure you got some butter in it, right?
Right.
But you also gotta have some rice and gravy and some pork chops.
Oh, well, see now.
Now we're not talking about fried carrots no more. Now we're talking about a whole stir fry.
At first it was an appetizer. You done made a whole entree out of this shit.
Hey, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, how you be? Welcome to another sterling episode of Older Black Men Conversations.
I'm not going to let you, another what episode?
What kind of
I was going to let you go, and I was like, that ain't a word.
What kind of word was that? Huh?
Sterling.
Oh, sterling.
Yeah.
You did sterling the way Michael did like chamon and shit like that.
Chamon. Yeah.
Oh, you mean sterling?
So that's why you don't want to play Scrabble with Michael.
He said, how do you spell that to me?
I am one of your co-hosts, Brother David Harold Dudley III, a.k.a. Cool Breeze.
That must not really be your government name, because you throw it around so much. Not Cool Breeze. We know that ain't your government name. I met your parents, and I know they did not name you that. I'm talking about the DHD3.
What's that?
Never mind.
DHD 3. David Harold Dudley III.
I know about that. I'm a third. Anyway, hi, I'm the real Cliff Barnes, and I'm another one of your co-hosts, and I'm in favor of carrots.
Thank you, Mr. Barnes. The original Clifford A. Barnes.
No, actually, I'm the third.
The original third.
Yeah.
All right.
Ain't gonna be another third.
There's a fourth.
There's CB4U.
CB4.
Oh, DHD CB4. Okay.
And I'm your personal street philosopher.
So you're a PSP? Personal street philosopher?
I'm a PSP.
Got PSP, CB4, and DHD.
Piece of paper. I need to copyright that before you do.
That's what I thought you were thinking because you had put your head down. I was like, is he thinking of one? And you said personal street philosopher. BSP, right?
I didn't say streetwalker, did I?
Walker?
Oh, if you a street philosopher, but if you said walker, oh yeah, never mind.
Yeah.
But
That's two persons.
But how could you have a personal streetwalker?
You're a fellow of the night.
You would have to.
You got Daisy Dukes?
Huh?
Daisy Dukes?
So that what streetwalkers wear?
Is that
That's what I'm saying.
Is that what streetwalkers wear?
They wear
No.
that? Not anymore, especially in this weather.
Hey, I would love to be driving down a known hoe street and see one of them hoes out there wrapped up like Alfie's little brother in a Christmas story. I can't put my arm down, but do you want to have sex?
But then another hooker come and push her down.
I can't get up. I can't get up. Mr. Pimp, I can't get up.
That eliminates the competition.
Wow.
Yeah.
Boom. You know.
Help me up.
I wonder, okay, random thought, but I wonder what the dress code is for women of the night in cold areas.
You know the
Can't just advertise everything you get
The
frostbite.
fur coats, that's how you can tell them.
No, the thing is though, they'll wear like tights or whatever you call them, pantyhose, all that. They'll put all that shit on, and then they'll just go out there and they'll have on their little gloves and then the fur.
They have a hole in the pantyhose.
I don't know.
It gotta be somewhere.
I knew.
That's what Dave Chappelle said about Rosie O'Donnell. She wears panties with dick holes in them.
Yeah. No, I knew a woman once who used
Oh,
to.
yeah?
Well, I didn't know her like that, but anyway, she would wear pantyhose
Yeah.
and cut the crotch out of them.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I know. That's what I said.
So is that for pee access or
No,
more?
that-
That's for those that are outdoors in the weather like this.
She called
where it's
them.
really cold. She got the fur coat on and everything, and the
And then-
pantyhose, like you
right.
said, with a hole right in the middle. So I mean, everything else is warm, but
Well, if she kept her legs closed, that would be warm too. But no, she called them party pantyhose.
party pantyhose.
Party pantyhose,
Ooh.
because she cut the crotch out of them, and then that way, if she
Let's say, come on in, fellas.
if she wanted to get busy, you know, and that way you don't have to pull all this down. And
Yeah,
you know,
I can dig it. I can dig it.
I'm telling you.
Well, speaking of digging it, damn those Seahawks.
What about them?
Who you think they gonna get for their next coach now that my boy Pete is gone?
Oh
You
yeah,
think he go giddy up?
yeah. Somebody even mentioned Coach Peterson from UW before Lake and
Yeah, I know you're talking about Chris.
DeBoer.
Talking about Chris.
from Boise State, and then
He don't be messing around the pros. He don't play that shit.
no, he hasn't. But he okay. He's the last. He took the UW
Yeah.
to the Final Four. The last one, they played Alabama and lost.
Yeah.
And Buda Baker dropped a touchdown or an interception. It could have been a pick six, but we're not going to get into that. Anyway, I've even heard him mention. They had a list of about this long, because you know how I got the thing under the TV, so you know it's running under the bottom. But it was about this long.
Yeah.
the crawl that went all in. And they had so many. They had 7 names.
Well, they're down to 3.
3.
They're down to 3.
Okay.
Your boy Vrabel.
Vrabel from
got fired.
no,
in Tennessee.
was it Tennessee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And got your boy.
They had this kid named Slowick, who is an offensive coordinator. I think.
He ain't the final.
I think, yeah.
Dan Quinn and Lincoln Riley.
Dan Quinn.
Those are the 3. Those are the 3 finals.
My question for all these coaches, it seems like when a coach loses their job or quits, they just go to another school.
Well,
It seems to me that they have a club that how do new coaches get in if one coach leaves and they're just swapping jobs.
You know what? That's a good point, because for years we've heard now that Eric Bimini, is that his name?
Bieniemy. Yeah.
He didn't get no interviews this time around, but guess what? Pete Carroll, whom we got rid of, which from what I'm understanding is really because he done got too old. Just like
Nah.
Belichick got too
I
old.
think they gave him too much power. Well,
But-
I guess they gave Belichick too much power too. But anyway,
Pete is in the finals at Atlanta.
no, it's not Atlanta. It's
It's Atlanta.
Is it? I thought. Oh, wait, Pete. That's right. Because what's his name? Belichick went back for a second interview.
Yeah,
So-
Atlanta's going for an old coach.
Apparently,
It's
'cause
either
all
it's
of
going to
that.
be Belichick or Pete.
Yeah, but the thing is, people were thinking that when they got rid of Ron Rivera at the Commandos,
DC.
former Redskins.
Yeah.
Anyway,
You can't say that.
I said that's what they used to be called. That's on public record. I didn't call them that.
But you just did.
No, I said formerly known as.
Yeah.
Okay, that's true.
But you can't say that word on TV.
What? Oh, that's
He's on second.
sure you can. I don't know.
Third base.
Anyway, okay, regardless to that. But that's what they were saying, that when Eric Bieniemy became the offensive coordinator at Washington, D.C., that he was in line to be the next coach after Ron Rivera.
Oh, but
'Cause
he's
Ron-
gonna act like he's got a bald head. They ain't gonna hire the brother like that.
Man, there's a couple of coaches that are black with bald heads.
But they ain't head coaches.
David Dudley. David Dudley.
Thank you, I'm being all we try the bill. What? What the hell was that?
With the head coach. That's good.
But no, so anyway, you got Lincoln Riley,
Dan Quinn,
Dan Quinn,
Mike Vrabel.
and Mike Vrabel. See, Dan Quinn let me down because he coached the Legion of Boom. Then he goes over and he's the head coach of Atlanta, and they're ahead by 25 points or 20-something points and lost the game in overtime. I'm thinking, you're a defensive coach. You just let him march up and down the field.
But
Boom.
that's what just happened to him last week.
But then he went to Dallas.
Yeah, that's just what happened last week with Dallas.
Yeah, and
They
I'm
marched
going,
up and down the field for no apparent
I'm
reason.
going, but yeah. So I'm see.
But I'm not the one choosing them.
Listen. To answer your question, sir, it's a good old boy network,
Yeah.
just like in every other industry.
Yeah.
And then it's hard for them to hire people that don't look like them.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Well, you know what? The same kind of goes for UW, except when I search back in my memory, going back through the UW's coaches, you know, 2 of the last 4 coaches they've had, Peterson, Lake, DeVore,
Right.
and before that it was Sarkisian and Tyrone.
Yeah.
So I mean, UW hasn't had an issue with diversity as far as that goes.
No, in the college. But the thing is, you still have the same thing in college. You still have that good old boy network. There's only a few. It's like, well, this guy here was on so and so's coaching tree, and this guy was, and this guy was. So they all coach together. So if there's a vacancy, then they call to check out their friends. And then their friends get to be part of the good old boy network. And it excludes a lot of people of color.
I'm sure it does, but a lot of people of color are in there, in those networks, but they still get overlooked because once it kicks upstairs to the head bosses,
Right.
the head bosses want to see people that look like them.
Exactly.
That ain't new.
Exactly. But the whole thing is, the only reason why in a lot of cases in the pros, that a lot of these guys have gone from assistant to the assistant to the coach, the coordinator, is because of the Rooney Rule. If it wasn't for the Rooney Rule, brothers wouldn't even get an interview. like it was back before that. So now, in order to comply with the Rooney Rule, they'll bring in a person of color and have no intention of hiring them,
Yep.
but the Rooney Rule has been satisfied. We interviewed a minority person, a person of color, a black person. We interviewed them,
Yeah,
but
now,
they knew.
now we can get to the real people.
Right. Now they knew they was not going to hire this person. And then you have people like Eric Bieniemy, who interviewed like 3 or 4 different times, and they go, oh, he's one of the finalists, and then, oh, well, look out, hey, Mr. White Guy is our new coach.
And he has no experience.
Yeah, but he's on so-and-so's coaching tree. It's like a little tree, you know, this guy's at the top, and then these 2, then 3, then 4. And so all those guys know each other, worked with each other, coached with each other,
Hunt with each other.
all of that.
Fish with each
They
other.
hunt, they fish, you know, they hang out
Yeah.
together.
Hey, I just want to throw this out there. I mean, as of yesterday,
Uh-huh.
you know, Pete Carroll said that he's going to be in an advisory role for the team.
Right. Well,
But he said, no, I don't want to leave though. I want to keep coaching. I want to get one more title. So,
Right.
like, is he not coaching? Because he's going to be there. Is he not coaching?
he's not coaching. Basically, he's being paid
Just to hang around.
just to hang around
Yeah.
because they gotta pay him.
Right,
Yeah,
and see,
yeah. He's still
another
under
thing.
contract.
Another thing is, if I were a coach that was seeking employment, as far as like all these opening vacancies and shit, I wouldn't want to go to a team that has an advisor, because he was just a head coach. Now, are we going to bump heads as far as philosophies? Well, how much power do I have? You know, against an advisor, and how much power does the advisor have? You know, so I'm thinking that's creating another stumbling block as far as a new coach. Because
So what do you what do you think? Do you think that they are actively trying to find him a spot? I mean, outside of Seattle.
You never know.
Because you got to pay him, right? And you don't want, and in my mind, you don't want to bring a coach in, a brand new coach,
right,
and have this guy, the former coach, as an advisor,
Yeah.
because what that creates in that coach coming in is a thing of you're constantly looking over your shoulder, even though they're saying he had nothing to do with this, he's just advising. Well, what the fuck are you advising then?
what are you advising?
Yeah.
You know,
It makes me think about watching that show Winning Time, the Lakers dynasty, and what's my man's name who was the player coach? White
for
dude.
Lakers.
Yeah, before Kareem, you know, 60s. He's but with Jerry West, being the coach and being like, I don't want to coach, but somebody comes in and you can't help but have your input and saying it's like that's creating a culture that's not. If you have one person that was in charge.
Right.
And they still have the tug of some kind of being in charge. You can't have them around if you're not going to have them at the head.
They're usurping your power.
Or
You know,
you're
it's
not
like-
changing the culture either if you got him.
There you go.
So you're a new coach, right? You walking down the hall, and a door opens and Pete comes out. Hey man, how you doing? I think you thought about trying this. No, you're trying to know, Pete. Don't advise. Just Garfield High School needs a coach. The
Yeah.
Huskies need a coach. There are
Yep.
places for Pete to go,
Yeah.
and that'd be a part of the Seahawks.
You know,
But-
and
but
that's,
the whole
that,
thing-
that-
was
that's
he still
interesting
under
what you said.
contract?
That's interesting what you said, just because it just reminded me. Remember when Rick Neuheisel was the coach out at UW, and he got fired? Do you know what he did next? The next football season, before he got hired by the big networks, he coached at Rainier Beach.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to coach, you can coach anywhere that
Yeah.
they'll have you. And then on top of that, a lot of negotiations and meetings and whatever are Zoom calls or, private conversations. Just because we didn't hear about it on the
Right.
tube, that doesn't mean Pete isn't talking to somebody on the phone or somebody texting or whatever the hell.
Yeah.
So he could
Whether
be
it be-
actively seeking another coaching position,
Right. Well,
but
he
they're
is.
not. But they're not publicizing
Well,
it
he-
as much as they have for the rest of these.
Right. Well, he is like I mentioned earlier. Him and Belichick are the finalists for the Falcons.
Atlanta, yeah.
So
So yeah.
Rule number one, you're never gonna tell billionaires what they're gonna do.
Their money.
You're never gonna tell they may go along with some shit,
yeah.
but in the end, you're not gonna tell billionaires how to spend
Right,
money.
which brings up the Seattle ownership group,
Yeah.
or whatever.
Jody?
And and
Well, she's
and,
ahead
and,
of
and,
the
and, the, and the big thing that's going through right now, there has been, but it's gotten louder since Pete got let go,
What?
is they're bringing Russ back for a year
Oh yeah, yeah.
to train.
Yeah, I
new
heard
incoming guy.
some of that Russell back to the Seattle thing. I'm like, you know,
I wouldn't be surprised if he came back to retire.
oh well, yeah.
Well,
He
that's
signed a
not-
contract for one day and getting there and then
Well,
waiting
yeah,
for the
yeah,
Hall
He's
of
a
Fame.
quarterback coach.
Yeah,
But the whole thing
yeah,
is,
to
it's
help
like,
to help with the new guy.
yeah. But the thing is, if I'm the new guy, I don't need that kind of help.
Not the new
Yeah.
coach, the new quarterback.
Oh, please. The new quarterback is going to be the quarterback just like he was. Let nobody coach his ass to be where he was specifically. You have a quarterback coach, and so that person deals with all the quarterbacks. But he wanted to run in and just like, okay, this is our star quarterback. It's just me. And you remember he had his own coach at Denver. That was one of the problems.
But that wasn't. See, he's got to go back to the beginnings. What they're talking about.
Who?
Russell.
Russell
beginning
makes
of
too
what?
much money.
No.
The beginning
Because
of what?
he's going to get paid next year.
Yeah.
But they're saying come to Seattle for the minimum amount and
do
mentor the new quarterback, then retire.
Like
That's what they're saying.
Like I said, if I'm the new coach and you ain't fitting in my system, I don't care what Jody and the rest of them
Yeah.
say. Either that doesn't happen, or if it does, I'm not gonna be here.
Right, you ain't gonna be the coach because I'm the boss.
You know, exactly.
So which way is Snyder leaning since he's now calling the shots?
He's not saying.
I don't blame him. Do you?
He
blame him?
hasn't. No, but I mean, like I say, most of this stuff takes place outside of the media.
Yeah.
So you don't really know, we don't really know what exactly is going on behind the scenes in the executive offices, in the locker room for that matter. Them guys, they're talking about, well, some of these guys were wanting Pete to stay, and Pete says he wanted to stay, and Jody said, no,
I'm the boss.
I don't think
It's
that's
my toy.
That's
I'll do what I
That's
want.
true, man. I swear, we were really tripping when Paul passed away, because it's like, oh man, boom, me just gonna be his sister, because you know he had no heirs, he had no, you know, most of his fortune that he didn't, you know, have personal fortune, but the team and everything that went to his sister. And it's like, I remember her coming to games and stuff, but she didn't strike me as being like a major rah-rah fanatic, as far as all of a sudden now she's raising the flag, and you know, so I don't know, like,
But that's Seattle, right?
but what I'm saying
Evening
is,
magazine and
but what
Cuban Cutlet
I'm
and-
saying is, I'm reiterating what you said. You can't tell billionaires how to spend their damn money.
No.
You know, look at.
I ain't a
Dallas.
millionaire. Right there, you tell me how to spend mine.
Look at Dallas.
Yeah.
Jerry Jones is
Yeah.
always, he's got his nose in everything. I don't see where
Yeah.
that's a good job.
Right.
And they have a good team in Dallas, but you know what? Too much Jerry.
Well, actually, I think it's not enough Dak, but that's my own personal opinion.
All right, real quick, let's veer for a second because you brought up Dak, and I've been watching on TikTok. Of course.
Uh-huh.
It's got all the best detectives in the world, though.
Naturally, exactly. They are super smart.
But they be talking about, you know, and it's not the first time I've heard it, but you know, sports, but NFL in particular, rigged.
And that's been a conspiracy.
I'm saying it has, but boy, I'm telling you, when you watch some of these games, and I'm not talking just watch them. I mean, yeah, when you watch them live, you can see some stuff be like, huh?
Right.
But when you go back and watch the tapes, and then people breaking it down and slowing stuff down, and you watch some of these and be like, this look fake.
True.
Yeah.
They don't look like they're even trying.
Exactly. I was saying that very thing because they were doing on NFL Live. They have the guy. They got the giant screen, and then they're pushing the buttons, and they can we stop it right here? And once these running backs got past a certain point, these guys were just like reaching out. They wasn't trying to rap. They were just reaching. That's like, you know, well, this isn't two-hand tag, is it? What's going on?
Yep, and it was. I watched one of them.
No, they didn't have no flags.
I watched one of them. The dude, it was one of those. After you get past a certain point, if they break a couple tackles, nobody even tries. And there was one where the dude was running down the sideline, and old boy might have been 2 feet behind him.
Yep.
And he's running. He reaches. Well, no. What you think happens is he's running and he dives for the guy and misses. Right. What actually happens when you slow it down is the dude is running, he leans forward and puts his hands down towards the ground and slides at the dude's feet. And it's like, what was that for? But it'd be a lot of stuff like that. And anyway, you said you brought up Dak. So I'm watching this, and one of the old mob guys, I can't remember his name, but he's a mobster everybody knows about, and he just is like, I don't care, I'll tell everything. So
Liston?
What's that?
Sonny Liston?
No, I don't think Sonny Liston. Was Sonny Liston in the mob?
Sonny Liston in them.
He might have had connections, but I don't think he was a mobster.
Is he still alive? I mean, I don't know.
But in the hole, where did that just?
Yeah. Okay.
But he was like, listen, what happens is these NFL guys, yes, they're making money. That's fine. But what will happen is a quarterback will borrow $300,000, but for some reason he can't pay it back, and you keep giving him the string to let him hang himself. Be like, oh yeah, and then it gets to about $700,000, and he ain't paid you back yet. He said that's when guys like us will go and say, I don't care what I'll break your leg, I'll kill your mother, I'll do all of these things. And he says as soon as they see that the guy is scared, then what they'll do is say, all right, I'll tell you what. You got a game coming up. You guys are favored by 10 points. You need to make the first 3 passes of the game interceptions. And then it cut to the next, and it was like Dak just throwing interceptions one after another, and his face like, and just walking off. And it's like, huh?
No, but the whole thing is, it's like, okay, it was so blatant that how they lost. They had won, 18, 20 games in a row at home. Okay? They're like, well, they're having a little trouble on the road. So I expected, even if you got one part of your mind saying, no, they're playing, it's great. Another part of your mind going, yeah, it's weak. And so even with that, I figured, well, at least it's got to be a closer game. But for you to win 12 games in a regular season, and then have the best record 8-0 or 9, whatever, however many they split it up at home, that you won every game and you haven't lost since sometime last season at your place, and then you come out and make a showing like that, it does look a little suspect.
You don't forget how to wipe your ass. I mean, you've been doing this. You do this now you don't know how to wipe your own ass.
Muscle memory.
But let's be real. The difference between a bad team and a good team is there's very little difference.
I don't know what that was. Explain for the watching audience what just happened.
Very little difference between a good team and a bad team in the pros.
Well, that's
very little difference.
Well, you remember every given Sunday or any given Sunday.
Now, why are we giving the referees a pass? Because
I don't give them a pass. See,
cheating, for me, the referee on one play can change the whole.
oh, absolutely. When we say rigged or cheating or anything like that, I think anybody and nobody at the same time can have everything to do with it.
Right.
So if the refs decide they're going to do something, everybody got to suffer.
Yeah.
If the quarterback decides he has to do something, his team going to suffer. His teammates ain't got to know nothing. You know what I'm saying? Things could be happening. The teammates are like, why is this? But I just want to go on to another. Okay, this is a little bit bigger conspiracy. The NFL being scripted. So now I know that the NFL has leaned into that theory, and it was like, well, we're gonna run with it because they've done the thing with Goodell. Well, what's the who runs the NFL? What's my man's name?
Goodell?
Yeah. So he had him and had a bunch of star players. They did a whole commercial about the NFL scripted. We get these scripts, and that all stemmed from Adrian Peterson saying, at the beginning of the season, they let you know what's gonna happen. So he said that, so they're like leaning into this conspiracy theory. And the only thing I'm tripping on, do you guys know, now somebody had posted, they said, my predictions for the next 10 Super Bowl champions. This was posted in December 16th, 2015. That's when this person posted it. 2016 Broncos. Is that who won? If you guys remember these, let me know, because I
Right. We got 2000, Okay, 2014. See, the thing is, the game is played the next year.
Yeah.
So the season now, like.
But that's fine. He does 10 of these in a row. So
yeah, we had the 2013 championship was played in 2014. So when you go to that next year, so basically, if you would just say which Super Bowl number, then because. Theoretically,
it was the Broncos.
Yeah,
24-10.
That was 50.
So then
Super Bowl 50.
Then he said in 2017 it would be the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
I believe so.
Yep.
Because they was the luckiest team on the planet.
Yep, Patriots. Yep.
Or else it was scripted for them to be.
I'm saying, see, and this is the thing about it being scripted. So he said 2016 Broncos, 17 Patriots, 18 Eagles, 19 Patriots, 20 Chiefs, 21 Buccaneers, 22 Rams, 23 Eagles, and 24 Bills.
Right.
25 Jaguars and 26 Bengals.
Right.
He has not been wrong. And he posted that in 2015.
That's true. Since 2015.
I'm just saying, how do you justify that?
Well, I mean, the whole thing is, it's like people are going like professional wrestling. It's fake. Well, not really.
Yes and no.
You got to be in the shape to be the type of athlete to do the shit that they do. So it's not fake, but it is contrived and scripted.
It's scripted.
We refuse to believe that about the NFL. Of course, now college basketball. Remember that scandal, point shaving scandal.
I'm saying
the ref, and then another thing is, why are there not professional referees? Why don't they just get a bunch of the guys that they have instead of having some accountant or a substitute teacher or whatever make the calls? Because there was a call where they was talking about in the Rams game. Dude was riding this kid Tacoma like he was a show pony.
Yeah.
He had him by the neck and he was all over him. And then he slowed him up just enough so that when he reached out, the ball went right past his hand. It was right there in front of God and everybody. The referee didn't say a damn thing. And there's 7 of them. So somebody should have saw some of that.
I'm saying.
Just like when, was it Detroit? And they made the 2-point conversion, then took it away because they said, "Oh, well, this guy didn't check in." But we had first seed. Mm-hmm. We had first seed, 3 offensive linemen surrounding the ref, and the ref said no, illegal person, illegal touching, illegal man downfield, and they took that 2-point conversion away.
See, the problem is we as consumers, well, I don't know how many people actually care. I think on our subconscious, we're like, our team and we have allegiance to our team and we believe that, unless we see something like, oh, that's cheating, but we believe in our team, we believe. But if you look at that other side and just consider that all this shit is fake.
Well,
And again, fake. Let me rephrase, because I was watching a thing and they talked about wrestling and football.
Yes.
And it's like nobody's saying that you can't. They said talking about in the script of football, like, oh, so the script said I was gonna tear my ACL, all these things. They said, listen, the outcome is scripted, but the stuff that happens in the middle, you could absolutely get hurt.
Hey.
Nobody said y'all wasn't the best in the world.
You talk to
but this is a game that we control.
You talk to some of those wrestlers. They interviewed some of this and said, well, injuries, and these guys, they get more bones broken than Evil Knievel.
Telling you.
And because you're leaping off the top of the thing and you weigh 300 pounds and you're leaping on another guy who weighs close to 300 pounds and y'all collapse and then you bang on the thing to make the impact sound worse and greater than it is. But if you don't land right, you're going to tear your damn ACL.
And you got to stick to the script.
And you got to.
You're right in the middle of it. You got to stick to the script.
Matter of fact, while I was watching all that stuff, they had the old boy who ran WWE, dude who always wore a suit. And they said, look, there's a script that things need to happen, and sometimes shit goes wrong, but you have to play through it.
Sure.
The Ed McMahon, well, I don't know what his name, but he comes running down the thing, and he jumps in the ring, but as he does something, he breaks his whole knee, and he's on the ground. He's like, yo, so he just starts yelling at them, and they're like, why aren't you getting up? And he's like, yo, I'm fucked up.
Yeah.
But we gotta keep going. So it's like,
these guys get concussions and shit from banging their heads on stuff. You know, like the turnbuckles. And I don't know if you've ever felt a wrestling ring, but it's just like a little bit of canvas or some kind of coating, and there's maybe that much padding, but the rest of it's plywood. Yeah. So you're landing on this shit because you're jumping off of a 5 foot high ring. You're jumping off there, and then they're throwing each other into the turnbuckle, then come back and slam a person in. That's not fake.
No.
Now it sure as hell is contrived and scripted, but that ain't fake. It's the same thing. As far as I'm concerned, professional football is purely, strictly entertainment. The sport, like when you see the little pee-wees out there, and the little the junior high, and then up until high school, and even then, a lot of high school.
I'm telling you, I think high school, some of that high school football be rigged. You talk about the South.
No, if these kids are really that good, then they'll put them aside or hold them back a year so they can play.
That's what they do in Texas.
And so but from that level on, once you get into college, now it's all about getting into pros. And once you get into pros, then it's all about, well, hell, if Sylvester Stallone was worth $20 million for that movie, how come I can't get $50 million a year for throwing the ball?
I don't know, but if we're talking conspiracy here, now you know Uncle Mario is a coach, and what's happened in this area, all of those hotshot high school guys, especially the ones from Bellevue,
Eastside Catholic,
right? They have a little academy that they take them to, and they pump them up, they do all this stuff to them, and they get them ready, and boom, they're superstars.
Sure.
But 9 out of 10 of those guys, once they get their scholarships and get to college, they're done. Because they burn them out in high school, getting them ready.
Like I say,
that's why you never hear from them.
In a lot of programs throughout the country, Texas probably is one of the biggest ones as far as manipulating so that this kid can get into college, and then you know the kid's going to get into the pros. But that's like a very small percentage of all of the people available. You know, it's like it's like basically what you need to do is take advantage of the damn free education. Don't worry about the high school.
You fall back.
Because the thing about it
is, but at that point, you are legitimately a victim of the system because your brain is only saying pro,
Of course.
fuck everything else.
Absolutely.
That's how you're groomed.
But that's why you
don't
have
think
people
that
like
way.
that's why you have people like Mel Kiper, right? Said, okay, I got 100 people. I got 100 college kids. Now there's 20,000 of them coming out of school, but he got 100. Now out of that 100, guys fall in and out. But if you look at the top very rarely changes from when he makes the prediction to when the draft comes or whatever. You know, and you have these kids all the time, it's like, whoa, where did he come from? He fell through the cracks. He's naturally gifted. He didn't have to deal with all the crap y'all putting him through, but he just, boom. Where did he come from? Well, now he's on this list of 100 people of the 20,000 coming out. They don't care about the rest of the folks. That's why you sit there, that's why they talk about, yeah, so-and-so was a walk-on. He was a walk-on at this school. He was a walker. Baker Mayfield, that's who we was talking about. They was talking about, they said, yeah, he's been a walk-on here and walk-on there. Then he transferred to here. This is his 4th NFL team. But he's still playing, still making money. He should get a year's contract next year. And you know, there ain't been a lot of brothers. Ain't been a lot of brothers that can say that.
All right, let's go. Let's move on to a different. We've been on this for like 45 minutes.
Wait, can I just close with
Please,
this?
please.
Okay, let me close with this. The people, I guess I shouldn't say get hurt, but most effective are those of us who like sports, those of us who want to root for our team, and those of us who want to believe it's a fair process.
You know,
Those are the ones, if we get that out of our mindset and follow the what,
Money.
then we wouldn't be in that trap.
so this,
Okay.
and I'm with you on following the money.
Yep.
Now that I didn't see this list and it has been right up, I might put a couple dollars on the bills this year.
It's there. Hey,
Just saying.
what did the boy say? One last thing. What did the boy say? He said, "Oh, it wasn't our turn."
Yep.
I'm saying.
That's what Jalen Hurts said. They said, "Well, your team, you was 10-1. Then you lost 6 out of 7, including the playoffs." And he said, "Well, you know, I just think it wasn't our turn."
Say you watch some of the interviews or something, and they say little slick stuff.
Yeah.
It'd be like, that thing. Okay, I understand. You know, teams they have the game plan for the week,
They script
but I'm
it.
telling you, they messing with us with them words. They'd be like, yeah, you know, we went over the script.
Right.
And well, a couple actually, but one in particular was like, you know, what happens is, you know, we have games and we'll go, but when you talk about practice and all this stuff, we're just going over the script. That's all we're doing. And the way he said it, it's like going over the game plan or going over how
Practice.
everything is supposed to, like, what do you mean? We just go over the game plan during practice. That's all.
You talk about
Or,
practice?
yeah, the script. Yeah,
Practice?
right.
Oh, anyway, moving right along.
Let's talk about the Tacoma
Oh my goodness.
TV.
Oh my goodness. That was
We all live in a yellow submarine.
yeah, it's a different state of mind. Personally, as I said, I don't see how you can go out and be accused of murdering somebody, then get acquitted.
Hold up.
know.
You can't be. It wasn't a. It.
It doesn't
It's a
matter.
fact. They killed
That's
a man.
true. That's
It's
true.
a fact.
Yes.
That's what they were accused of it, and
They weren't accused. They did it.
in this society, supposedly you're innocent until you're proven guilty. That's why I use the word accused. We saw what happened on the film. We saw that with Mr. Floyd.
But don't believe your
We
eyes.
saw that.
Yeah,
You know,
no, I don't really.
You know.
I actually am very irritated by that alleged and
Yes.
accused. I'm like, listen,
Yes.
if I just saw you do it, stop saying alleged because you're
Yeah.
trying to create a
Yeah.
doubt, which there isn't one.
Yeah.
No, but like I said, that's why I said accused. It wasn't alleged. We saw it on film. But they're accused until they're convicted or acquitted, which they were. But That's all, that's how the system played out, whatever. But why do you need to give them $500,000?
Here, let's run it back. Explain to everybody what happened. What are we talking about? We just actually jumped in.
You want
Yeah, so a man, a black man was
Manny Ellis.
Manny Ellis was killed
Pretty much.
by 3 Tacoma police officers back in 2020. Is that when
Yeah.
that happened? And they didn't dispute, but they said they feared for their life or whatever. But he's unarmed.
And they brought in experts and they refuted the experts on both sides. And they went through this whole thing. And we're sitting there watching the video. We watched the video that first came out. They introduced some other videos. There were witnesses. People were driving by watching all this stuff go on. Okay? So they were accused of second-degree murder and manslaughter. Okay? Even though, as I say, we saw the whole thing, but they were acquitted. Said, okay, fine. I've been through that before, living in America. We've had a lot of, in our cases around this area, a lot of justifiable homicide. But then, after they acquitted them, they paid them each $500,000 plus their back salary or whatever to leave the Tacoma Police Department. And I'm like, how do you get away with murder and then get rewarded for it?
Well, you know what? I think this, we can say it was, dang, how did they do that? But by the same token, was there a jury?
Oh, I'm sure.
Okay.
And the jury acquitted him. Exactly.
Right. So what is that? That doesn't say anything about our system. It says something about us, about this country, about the people and the culture. I mean, they're used to having or seeing black men killed.
Sure.
Well, it does say something about this country because the system is this country. And it says what we already knew. If you're black or brown, do not expect for the jury to rule for you, especially when it comes to cops. They go out of their way not to have to charge cops with anything.
Right.
So, did any of this surprise any of us, though?
No, because when you go down to the courthouse expecting justice, what you find is just us.
That's right.
I mean, that's the reality.
But the fact that none of us are surprised by it, what does that say?
Yeah.
We're not surprised by it.
That we expected.
Okay. Here's just a quick little side note / tangent. Did you hear what Nikki Haley said? The Republican running for the nomination?
Back then about slavery?
No, yesterday.
No. What did she say?
America is not a racist country and never has been.
Who was her audience?
That's what she was
Okay,
doing.
she's talking to her audience.
But the whole point is, but the whole point
Right.
is that attitude is pervasive in America and always has been. There's no such thing as systematic racism. Are you kidding me? I grew up in it. We grew up in it.
We're products of it.
Yeah.
But again, if you don't experience the blunt end of the racism stick, I can fully understand how you don't see it. You don't get it because it don't affect you. I get that. That don't make that means you need some personal responsibility.
She was governor of, wasn't it North Carolina?
South Carolina.
South Carolina. Yeah. The big hub, the hub of the slave trade.
Listen, we had a cousin, Willie, who passed away last year. And I was talking to him, about what, so he's in his late 80s, 90s, right? And I said, well, what's the difference between back when you were coming up and now? And he said, nothing.
Yep.
Nothing.
Yeah, and that's true. Yeah.
I will have to say this. 55 years ago, we were fighting police brutality.
Yes, we were. We
Now,
were victims.
but now, 50 years later, oh yeah, there's been a lot of progress made. Oh yeah, where?
Yeah.
Are you
Where?
living in some kind of parallel freaking universe?
Well, yeah.
Because it sure as hell ain't happening. I guess I should believe you, not my lying fucking eyes.
Well,
Or your regular eyes either.
Any of them.
it wasn't too long ago
The eyes have it.
that
Shit.
that discussion would come up, and people would say, "Oh no, their cops aren't really doing that. They're not really doing that." Or,
Hey.
"Why did he what did he do? He
Yeah.
didn't stop by a cop. Well, what did he do?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean? What did he do? He must have done something. It's that attitude.
Well, it's like the was it Memphis, where the black cops beat up that kid. They had that special unit of black cops that are supposed to be, and they got them on, and they're just abusing the hell out of a fellow black man.
Yeah.
And when they pulled him over, they had the camera there. I don't know if it's a body camera, whatever the hell, but they said, "Get out of the car." He said, "What did I do?" Okay, well now that's the trigger word right there.
Well, listen.
Yeah.
When they say, "Get out of the car," and you say, "What did I do?" Now you're questioning their authority. Now you're,
Yeah.
you know,
But check this out. We have a common friend whose oldest child was brutally murdered in Mississippi.
Who that?
And I'm not doing any government names.
Okay, no, but I mean, I thought they
I'm
had a nickname or something we used to call them, you know, so
No.
we would know exactly. But yeah.
But the perpetrator
Mm-hmm.
that killed his son
Uh-huh.
was a black cop.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
So really, it's about blue and black.
No, here's the deal. Yeah.
Some of the time it is.
But here's the deal. When in let's go all the way back to like the 50s. It actually goes back a little further, but in the 50s they were going into the 60s. They were, oh well, there's not enough black cops. Okay, so they bring in the black cops, right? They said, okay, well this class here is first black graduating, blah blah blah, at the academy, whatever. These guys were worse on us than they were.
Yeah, because
Because they're trying to impress
They're
them.
trying to-
right.
And I'm like, boy, that's wow. You know, when I was a kid, a friend of the family was a Crescent City Roller, New Orleans, Louisiana Police Department, and so he would walk around, and he was working with the community in a sense that he was patrolling, but he was not trying to impress anybody in the higher ups. If he made arrests, they were you know, right. I've seen this guy do this. Yeah, he had to be arrested, but he didn't go around looking for trouble in the community.
Yeah.
You know, so he and I've known black and white and women and Hispanic and policemen in the SPD
Yeah.
that were, you know, hey, they were regular people. But then I've also known some in the SPD that went out of their way to mess over minorities, people of color.
Yeah.
Okay? So I mean, it's not like just because they're cops, no. They would probably be bad citizens no matter what the hell their occupation is. they're just, I don't know, bad people, bad, you know, and it's just like now you have all these people that are, you know, well, the police can do no wrong. Like, oh, really? Once again, are you living in a parallel universe?
No,
Yeah.
living in-
It's one of those things for me.
What the hell?
I think people get so caught up in titles and positions. I'm like, I have the same thought that my grandfather told my mother. My grandfather was a famous musician, and he got to be around a lot of famous people, and so did my mom. But he told my mom, "Don't treat them any different. That ain't nothing but a regular person with a job." And I think we forget that police. We put them on this pedestal. That is Fred from down the street. That is another person who has a job.
There you go.
They don't have any higher moral ground personally than any other person. Well, they might, but you know what I'm saying? It's just a person. So we think, oh, they're a cop. They're a good person. No. They're a person who's a cop.
Well, it's just like around the neighborhood. You got officer friendly and you got officer unfriendly. And that's where it breaks down. It don't matter what color they are, it don't matter their ethnicity, where their background. Either they're good or they're not.
Well, you know what, I tell you what though, I wish somebody would have paid me $500,000 when I retired from going, because I kicked the bathroom once, I kicked the toilet. Give me $500,000.
That's right. Yep.
So I got another perspective on the Manny Ellis. Because I'm trying to be. What about the possibility that the prosecutor did not do his job?
Oh, certainly.
To get a conviction.
Certainly. Well, hey, we can go back to the OJ trial. OJ's legal group spent more than the state of California.
Right?
Yes, they did.
Right.
So, as you're saying, the prosecutor might not have been able to present it correctly. They refuted the films and they refuted this expert and that. The expert they brought was refuted by the expert the defense brought, and they believed that. Then, back to the Constitution or whatever, how many of those people on the jury were his peers? Now, we have to define what that means. Because I've been in court a lot of times.
Yeah, me too, but check this out.
On juries and stuff.
Me too, but his peers, whose peers?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because it ain't Manny.
It's supposed to be the peers of the accused.
Yes.
Supposed to be.
Right.
Yeah, but that's what I said. I've been on juries. I've been a party to a lawsuit. I've been around. You know, I have relatives that went to law school and lawyers and stuff now, whatever. But the whole point is, it's really difficult. It's like when that was written, all the peers were white Anglo-Saxon Protestants.
Yeah.
And that's who they said, okay, well, as long as this is another white guy, that's my peer.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm sitting here thinking, I went to a trial this past year. Man, a lot of shit has happened. And the defendant was a young black man. There was only one black person on the jury. And he got his just desserts because he did it. I mean, there was no refuting what, and his lawyer didn't try to refute anything that happened.
Just trying to get the sentence lesson.
And they got him. They got him, and that was the first time that I saw anything like that. I mean, you can say, well, they're always going to convict a black man, but this guy actually deserved it.
So the system worked that time.
It worked that time.
But if you got called, and I know it's hypothetical, to court 9 more times, based on your positive experience, how many more times do you think the system would have worked the way it did when you went to trial? Do you trust it to say, I believe it will work again?
I'll put it this way, I don't want to be a defendant.
I don't either, but I do trust that it would work in my favor.
Okay.
Eventually, odds are, it has to work so many times But the whole thing is, it's flawed because it works less times than it.
Well,
does.
to me,
it's flawed beyond.
The
I don't know
flaw,
if it's
the big
beyond
flaw is
repair.
for us is if we go in against the men in blue, we're gonna lose. Regardless, we're gonna lose.
That's a safe way to approach. Okay, we get pulled over, we can't cuss a cop out.
Right.
A white boy can cuss a cop out all day, all night.
Correct.
What do we have to do?
I am putting my hands
Show
on the
me your ID.
dashboard.
I'm reaching for my
Right.
ID.
Right.
I'm doing, and it still
Sure.
can backfire.
Of course, now I have seen the cops be pretty brutal on some white
Some white guys.
suspects,
Yeah.
So
but not
Yeah.
nearly as much as I have seen. And I'm not talking about on the TV. On the TV
Yeah,
and
real life.
media, like the black guy, and so oh, it's a big deal on
Yeah.
both sides and blah blah blah, and they spin it the way they want.
Right.
But in my life, in my experience, I have seen the police be very, very brutal to white men and women. Okay? But not nearly on the same scale as I've seen them be
Right.
brutal
Right.
to black men and women.
And women. And
well,
children.
you know what? I've been fortunate. I've seen the brutality,
Certainly.
but for the most part, the brutality I've seen has been on the TV.
Yeah, well,
You know,
Well, see-
well, wait a minute. Let me interject. I do remember there was time when we supposedly took over the freeway, for instance,
right.
and watching the cops in that particular thing deal with all of us, black and white demonstrators.
Right.
And I've seen cops just brutally beat white women.
Yeah, well, but you know what? I have a confession to make.
I don't know.
Uh-oh. Should I write it down?
I'm about to say, let me timestamp this just
This
in
is
case.
not visual.
Wait,
This is-
Should I write it down? Okay.
When that stuff was going on,
Uh-huh.
I was very, very, very direct.
community.
Yeah, we did that.
The most scariest
Allegedly.
person when I went around the corner was the black cop.
Oh, yeah.
The most scary, and he wasn't trying to hide his disdain.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "I was with you guys till you did this." Yeah, well, allegedly, some windows were broken, and
Oh
nobody
yeah,
got
that
hurt.
was a bad thing.
Oh, my goodness. I'm trying to tell you, here we are out here trying to get us a better educational facility.
And jobs.
Because at that time,
It was really bad.
North Seattle Community College had been built, South Seattle Community College. We were still going to school in a building that had been condemned 3 times, built in 1898. You could walk on the upper floors, and as you're walking, you could just feel the whole goddamn floors walking when classes were changing. So we were, in our minds, and I guess in reality also, trying to get a better place to get an education. Then, once they started building it, we went back in the street because we wanted to see some color in the construction crews.
That's right.
So, I mean, justification, whatever you want to call it, we just were doing what we had done for several hundred years, trying to fight for what we deserve.
And it's a good thing we all look alike because at the time I had a job. I was an apprentice. And on the first page of the next day, I'm glad we all look alike. Nobody in my work had any.
You know,
Yeah.
hey. We didn't know.
Oh my
We
goodness.
thought we saw somebody that looked. See, now what happened with me is, okay, some folks went on the freeway. like now they're talking, they got a big thing about the big demonstration that just happened in close. And say, yeah, we're gonna have to go out as the leaders, or we're gonna have, yeah, whatever. Back in the day when that happened, I had just saved a young white guy's life because we came down the ramp. I went out there and you know, basically if you're going to stop traffic, you wait until it's clear. Right? Like there's packs and then there's a clearing and there's, okay, now the pack had just went away this way. This dude runs out onto the freeway. I grab him and pull him back because Greyhounds don't stop for nobody unless you got a ticket. So once we pulled him back, everybody rolled. Now here, my wife, my girlfriend at the time was going to Western. They showed a picture of it, and I don't know how it happened. I was right in the middle of this thing, and they're like, Sharon, is that your boyfriend?
Yeah.
You know? But I'm just saying, that was, actually, I think that was an anti-war demonstration.
Yeah, it was.
But when we, you know, because that was the one where we mobilized 10,000 people. But then the big one was when we had 25,000 people marching from UW, picking up students from Seattle Central, picking up students from Seattle University, and marched down to the City Hall or what have you. But those were the good old days.
Yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up with a story. So we're out again demonstrating, and we're at the UW, and they're making this big excavation hole in one of the big construction cranes, right? Drove the crane over, boom, boom. The tax squad is standing right there, preventing any more people from getting there, right? So I, being a very brave man, in my Franklin High School leather jacket, I picked up a brick, and we're going, kill the pig, kill the pig. And I walked right up to the tax squad, looked the guy right in the eye, and took that brick and smashed it right into his face. He had the helmet on.
The face mask,
I don't know what happened after that as far as his face goes, because I took off. I went boom. My next step was to run. And I ran down, I think it was Brooklyn Avenue, and they was behind me, I could hear them. And then this little white lady in an apartment building there went, psst, come here. I went in, they ran past me, they never caught me. I lived to fight another day. Power to the people.
Power to the people.
All right. Is there a statute of limitations?
What's going on, little white lady?
That's what I'm talking about.
Where is she now? We need her now.
I was talking about the little white lady. I'm not talking about the you know, but anyway.
So anyhow, it's time for us to get out of here. Check y'all out later, next time. Be safe, have fun. Boom.
Okay, it is, yep, it's nap time. So, anyway, thanks for tuning in, and if you liked us, tell everybody, tell your friends, subscribe, go to Say It Loud podcast on YouTube, and the Patreon. Oh shit! Man, I swear to God, man, I swear I keep the editor in so much fucking work. Anyway, Patreon.
Alright, it's Patreon. Slash Say It Loud.
Say It Loud. No, it's patreon.com/Say It Loud.
Sure. Yeah.
Is that?
I don't know.
Okay, anyway, subscribe, and if you didn't like us, keep it to yourself. But also, we'll be back next episode with more, what was that word you used?
Sterling.
Sterling
stuff.
Starling, that a bird? Okay, more steering another episode. And I'm the real Cliff Barnes. Stay safe and be
well, stay safe.
Be well, stay safe,
yes.
and stay hydrated.
Stay hydrated.
And our other co-host.
Yeah, gonna leave you with this for the week. We're going back to football. Who's worse off right now, and who's it gonna take longer to recover? The Huskies or the Seahawks?
Oh my, we'll discuss that at the beginning of our next show.
Right. And it's patreon.com/sayitloud.
There you go.
It's whathesaid.com.
You get bonus episodes.
That's
You
right.
get bonus episodes of Old Black Men Conversation.
That's right. We're gonna have some of the classics.
Somebody say peace.
Out.
Peace.
Or not.